Armchair commanders, we call the shots. From our living room thrones where the action's hot. We're the generals of fiction, the masters of war. In silver screen battles with buttered popcorn. Armchair commanders, armchair commanders.
Like a cookie clicking game?
No. Yeah.
Okay, well I can hear that shit.
All right, fine. I won't click, even though that's a massive minus to my cookie production, and I hope you're happy.
Anyways, welcome to the Armchair Commanders podcast. My name's John.
And I'm Jack.
I thought you were the Muffin Man.
Fuck you. You know as well as I am that I'm a fucking cookie man.
Okay. And this week we are reviewing... I don't even know how to describe it, but...
England's answer to Team America.
So Miranda watched like the first 10 minutes of this with me before she bailed. And
I'm surprised she made it that long.
Yeah. And she's like, what's this about? I'm like, oh, it's basically Team America, but British humor. And she's like, oh, so not funny. And I was like, man, I've never been prouder of my wife.
Okay, you got us there.
I actually greatly enjoyed this film. And
oh, yeah.
By the way, I should probably say the film is Jackboots on Whitehall. So there. I swear to fucking God, Jack, if you keep clicking cookies.
I'm sorry, I thought I could sneak some in. But anyway. Yes, Jackboots on Whitehall, the 2010 answer to 2004's Team America.
Was it 2010?
Yep. So I'm pretty sure.
It definitely does not have 2010 quality to it.
No. It also didn't have the same budget as that movie.
When I first saw this, just still frames of it, I was like, did Robot Chicken make a war movie? It was kind of unsettling, if we're being honest. Like, I was fine with... Essentially, they just took, like, G.I. Joes. It wasn't like Team America in the fact where they made, like, custom puppets. Like, these were all very much, like, you could buy these figures off of eBay kind of deal. The thing that was unsettling to me was how they chose to animate the mouths for speaking.
Yeah.
It was very distracting.
And the facial expressions were always the same no matter what. Which that led to some hilarious moments, like that scene where he's being taken captive by the Scotsman. He just had that grin on his face still. And the priest had that drunken sneer constantly.
The priest has some great one-liners in this movie. You keep those fat hands off of my daughter.
Well, what was that one line? Teaming, Mr. God damn it, Captain England is dead. Now who am I going to marry my daughter off to? Captain England is billed as like this badass hero of England, but then he gets fucking murked in the first scene.
I love that. So like, the first scene is very good at establishing Germany as the bad guys, which I didn't know they needed help in that regard. But...
you know, I thought the killing Jews and invading other countries thing would sell people, but
no, we get this fucking Hindenburg, literally the Hindenburg blimp, which wasn't the Hindenburg already exploded by this point?
Well, yes, the Hindenburg, but this is just a Hindenburg-esque blimp.
It says Hindenburg on the side of the goddamn blimp.
Maybe Hindenburg 2, Resurrected.
Whatever.
Hindenburg 2, Electric Boogaloo.
But so they're the Germans and they're bombing this town, and that's apparently not bad enough. So we have to have the captain of the blimp be like, "Oh, what is this?" And like lines up his crosshairs on a fucking like baby stroller.
In case you forgot, the Nazis were the bad guys. If you couldn't tell by their character design, they just have to be bloodthirsty and drop a bomb on a perambulator. Es un perambulator. Und
Next, we will take out the Krankenwagen.
we're so fucking evil. God, and the Gibbles doll looks like Gollum.
I love that.
Me too.
I loved. It's not. I shouldn't say very often. It is like fucking never that we see Goebbels, Himmler, and Goering portrayed as like the Three Stooges.
Oh yeah, that was a rare treat, and I for one appreciated it greatly.
It was a great artistic choice, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But I especially love the fact that they made Goebbels look like fucking Gollum or Schmeagol from fucking Lord of the Rings.
Which I've been reading that book series at work.
Have you now?
I'm a little over halfway through Two Towers, which I didn't realize just how little detail he goes into the Battle of Helm's Deep.
No, he's too busy describing a fucking hill.
The fucking tree lore. He spends so long talking about Ent lore and history and shit. It's just, why?
I can't remember who we were talking about, but somebody is like, yeah, like Tolkien is great, but you have to be in it, like into it. Like you have to have like the brain like your brain has to be wired a certain way to enjoy that. It was the curator from the USS Kid I was talking to about that because he's like because we're talking about Greyhound because they shot the movie on the ship that he's the curator for, and he's like, oh yeah, I've never read the book that movie's based on, and I'm like, how the fuck is that possible? And he's like, it's just written in a particular way that I just can't do it, and I think
Well,
Lord of the Rings is like that for a lot of people.
well, maybe it's that he can't read like me.
He seemed like a learned man, Jack. I think he's read a book or two in his life.
Maybe. You don't know that.
Okay. Well, we can discuss it the next time we have him on.
But anyway, the portrayal of this was inevitable. I was going to bring this up, but grade A portrayal of an American.
It truly was a great character.
Rupee and his band of engines.
His name was Tom, right?
Fisk.
Bisk, right?
Billy Fisk.
Billy Fisk.
Bisquick.
I
Based
love-
on a real person from the sound of it.
Probably based on Dick Best. He was voiced by Dominic West.
Like on Wikipedia, it links to a real pilot, American RAF pilot named Billy Fisk.
Huh.
Something tells me he wasn't quite so jingoistic, I think is
You
the
don't-
word. You're right, I don't. But
Anyways, the voice actor for Billy Fisk, he played the like traitor senator in 300.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. Callback.
It's something I'm genuinely kind of shocked at is like the people they got to do this movie. Like one, they got Ewan McGregor to be our primary character, which A, how the fuck did they get him? And B, why did he agree to this? Like this is post Star Wars.
He was bored.
Probably. But we also have Rosamund Pike. Tom Wilkin. What the fuck? Tom Wilkinson was in this.
Yeah.
Richard Griffiths Alan Cumming? What am I even reading? Why is this movie got such a star-studded cast? What the fuck is going on?
I think they just wanted to have fun.
You know what? I don't blame them. Like, if I, granted, I'm not a big famous actor, but like, if I was a big famous actor and I had the ability to do something stupid like this, I probably would.
Well, I mean, yeah.
It's like, it's
Yeah.
like the actors who always say they're like, man, I really regret that the South Park guys didn't ask me to voice my own character. I would have loved to have done that.
Loved it.
I will say with Billy Fisk, I liked the fact. So our opening scene is, the battle for Britain, and
Yeah.
it is an almost like shot for shot remake of the fucking Battle for Britain scene from Pearl Harbor. And I'm like, this is some grade A like shit posting going on right here.
Oh, great, A. Oh no, they hit the London Underground. Surely this will cause delays for the next 100 years.
Especially the last pilot to get shot down, like right before he like crashes, he just like rips his mask off and he's like, "Tell my wife I love her." I also was a fan of the portrayal of Winston Churchill in this.
Oh yeah. I love like we can either surrender or we can retreat to the untamed civilization of filled with savages called Scotland. I guess surrender's our only option.
It
And
was it was pretty
Scotland
great.
is Scotland is just this barren hole on the map.
I thought one of the great moments was, near the end of the movie where they're doing the great like plot twist where the like, Ewan McGregor's character makes it to like northern part of Scotland and he's like he found the Scottish and he's getting interrogated. He's like, "Why are you here?" He's like, "I've heard the stories of the Great William Wallace. I know the stories. I am him." And we just see a fucking Mel Gibson character lean forward.
Yes. Even though there are rumors that Braveheart was an Australian. I know because I am him.
This this movie was also just like full of great insults. Like one of my favorite insults was the priest when, they've made it to Hadrian's Wall. And that's another great like everything about this movie is just like is very clever. And it's like,
Yeah.
we'll retreat to Hadrian's Wall. So they do that. And the Germans like finally get there. And the priest is just like drunk off his ass and leaning over the wall. He's like, "You sausage eating wankers." Or doesn't the granted, I don't believe in using this word. I don't like the word, but nonetheless, it was still funny when I saw it. But when he's talking about Ewan McGregor's character, he's like, "Oh, that farm boy with the R-worded hands."
I was gonna ask if we get demonetized for saying it, but we're not monetized in the first place.
No, we're not. I just personally refuse not to use that word. So
Refuse not to use that word, implying you always say it, or refuse to use that word.
I refuse to use the R word because I personally believe it is an abhorrent word. However, I'm not going to tell other people how they talk. So like
Okay.
so like when other people use it, I don't say shit because there's no reason to get into a pissing match about it. What I can do is control my own language and usage of that word because I don't respect that word.
Right. That being said, man, that was like an extra use of that word. I was not anticipating that. It's
Oh,
just so
it was like, I hate that word, but in that moment, it was so perfectly placed and it was so jarring. I was like, what the fuck?
right.
What did you
Yeah.
think?
Before we continue, I'd like to say another thing about that scene. Like, they're just at a party. I don't know what the party was. It was just like a festival they were having, I guess. Block party. But then Hindenburg shows up and everyone panics, like, battle stations! They fucking take the cover off a table. There's guns underneath. All the nurses whip out SMGs. Rifles just get brought out of nowhere. A Lewis machine gun just gets placed on another table, and then the town drunkard just rolls out of the beer tent with that artillery gun or anti-aircraft gun. They're just ready to throw down at a moment's notice.
What's even better is like after that scene, they're like, "Oh, we used all of our ammunition. We're completely defenseless now." And it's like they went
If you
from being the most well-armed town to completely defenseless. Like,
if that's all you had to defend your town, then you didn't really have much defense to start with, now did you?
it kind of goes to the reason I love the portrayal of Winston Churchill is because he has the like 007 like hidden gun cabinet behind a bookshelf.
Mum's the word, boys.
Don't tell my wife.
In Winston Churchill fashion, he has the bottles of liquor in it too.
Well, that's his emergency liquor.
Of course. I didn't see any emergency cigars, so I will have to take points off this movie for accuracy.
I mean, yeah. The battle for 10 Downing Street was also really amazing to me. Just so again, like this movie is just chock full of like quippy little lines, but this is also where we see like how much of an idiot Fisk is, because he's like, "We're gonna show them commies what's what," and the Indian soldier is like, "We're fighting the Nazis, you fucking idiot."
For the last time, we are fighting the Germans. Yeah, well, that's what they want you to think. Fucking what? And speaking of idiot, he was like, "Course I can carry you. I grew up carrying redwoods in South Dakota." What fucking redwoods in South Dakota? I've lived here my whole life.
You haven't been looking close enough.
Obviously not, because as far as I know, the nearest one's like 1,000 goddamn miles away in California.
Well, that's the thing. Billy Fisk got rid of all of the ones in South Dakota because he carried them away.
And yeah, more than likely. And as for that whole confusing of the races thing,
Oh yes, confusing Indians
Indians
from the
with
country of India
engines.
with Native Americans.
I can fully see a South Dakotan doing that. Because I'm not sure if I've mentioned it on this show, but I have a list of all the races and ethnicities I've been confused for over the years.
Hmm.
I was confused for Greek by an actual Greek person. I've heard Italian a couple of times. Let's see. I was cleaning this old dude's house one time, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he just started talking about his least favorite ethnicities. And he was like, "Yeah, I don't like blacks, I don't like Hispanics, and I don't like," he didn't say the word, but Romani. And then he looks at me. "In fact, you look like one of them."
What do you mean, you people?
Yeah, you people. Stony. But fun fact about Stony, I got his whole life story when I was cleaning for him. He was the prototypical hippie. And he was like 93, 94 years old at the time. This was back in 2016. He's dead now, but he was like fucking 93 or something like that. And the first time he smoked marijuana was in the 30s. He bought it from some Mexican kid, and he had just got done watching Reefer Madness. And he's like, "Oh, no, sorry, son, I don't want none of that. I hear it messes you up something fierce." And then the kid was like, "No, no, senor, it's not true. It's not true. It helps you relax." So he's like, "Okay, fine, I'll try it." Smoked it in one go, and then had extra big sized chili dogs at the fair that day. And he was
And he murdered his whole family.
He joined the military, but before that, according to him, he got married for a quarter in Mexico, then divorced. Then he joined the military, and he was at Pearl Harbor when, that happened. He was high as fuck when he watched the Arizona go up. And his whole fucking life was like a roller coaster after that. He bought a bunch of animals, ran his own private zoo in the 70s because that was something you could do.
I was really shocked the other day when you sent me that article. And granted, this happened a couple of months ago, but the article you sent me about the last known aviator to have participated in Pearl Harbor died
A
this
little
year.
over a month ago, yeah.
Granted, it's something that I shouldn't be shocked by, but I guess it still did.
Yeah, there's really no preparing you for it, right?
Well, I mean, it's a discussion we've had a lot on this show, which is, as kids,
Yeah,
there's World War II vets everywhere.
Yeah.
And,
basically everybody's grandpa served in that war.
And now it's, every World War II vet you hear about is like in that 100+ range. And like, I think it's cool that we are in a state medically now that making it to 100 is not like a super rare occurrence anymore.
More and more, yeah, you're right. More and more people are making it to be that old.
But also, like, it just goes to show that, like, there's a ticking clock on that.
Oh, yeah. I think the oldest World War I veteran was like 112, 113, possibly older than that.
Yeah, it was. But even by that, you have to imagine that there's some wiggle room there just because somebody born in the 1800s, like, record keeping is not that great from that time. Well, it's like, I remember texting you because I got down a rabbit hole. I was like looking for the list of oldest World War II vets, and like Italy claims to have the oldest one at the age of like 114, and I'm like, fuck you, Italy.
Sit the fuck down.
That 1908 Italy has the fucking proper documentation to prove this dude's age. Like, just go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, shut up, Italy.
Now, if Germany or Japan told me that they had the oldest World War II vet, I would believe them.
But Italy...
No.
Yeah, that's where you draw the line. I get you.
Like, Germany has meticulous record keeping, so I would trust that. And
they have pretty crackerjack technology and elder care. And
Japan's the same way. They have like a really robust elderly population because they do a good job of taking care of their elderly.
I like that word, robust.
Robust. I had some robust tomato sauce with my dinner tonight.
Robust.
What did you think of like Germany's plan to invade England in this movie?
It reminded me of this one quote, and I'm pretty sure you already know the one I'm going to whip out, and I'm pretty sure we've talked about it on this show before during one of our Band of Brothers episodes. But there's this really good quote I love from German high command around this time. I don't remember who said it, but German soldiers were told, think of the least likely area method of attack that the American forces can take, and they will take it. A good example of this is the Normandy invasion. Like, imagine you're a fucking conscript, 18, 19, 17 even, doesn't matter. But you get sent to the west coast of continental Europe because, hey, that's how they're probably going to attack, right? And so you fortify the walls, the sea walls, and the defense, and the mines and shit. And on in June, you just get told to guard the back line. You think, okay, I'm gonna live. This is gonna be all right. But then, out of fucking nowhere, paratroopers fall on you. Yeah, just out of nowhere.
I'm sure. So, like, the idea of them, like, we shall dig a tunnel from France to England. I'm sure, like, in 2010, they were like, this is the stupidest fucking idea. Like, this will go perfectly with our, like, stupid theme movie. And then they actually made one. Like, there's a legit tunnel from England to France now.
About that.
Like, you can hop on a train. It takes like 2 hours, but you can hop on a train and it goes underneath the English Channel, and you can go from Paris to London or vice versa. And I was just like, it's hilarious that this movie uses it as a premise of it being incredibly stupid, and then like those two governments were like, you know what? Yeah, that is a great idea.
And hell, maybe that's the explanation as to where we got it. Maybe the Germans did tunnel from France to England.
I
Also, to our English listeners, and I know there's a couple of you, you're welcome for that new conspiracy theory, by the way. You can have this one for free. It's on me.
So I used to play Axis and Allies had a game that was made by Atari. It was for PC, and it was very like it was like a live action strategy game, so like very Company of Heroes esque, if you will. Um, and they had two different campaigns. They had like the Allies campaign, which followed regular history, but then the Axis campaign did alternate history. And so, like, one of the earliest missions in that game was the invasion of England, and it was called Operation Sea Lion. And even in this fictional game universe where it gave you all the necessary resources, I was like, this seems fucking impossible. Because, like, in that
Oh, yeah?
game, yeah, because in that game, they're like, the first thing you have to do is to clear the English Channel in that game.
Ooh.
So you spend like 20 minutes just bombing the shit out of battleships. And it takes you fucking forever. And all the while you're just trying to keep your bases alive, but once you destroy those battleships, then like the game populates the German Navy in. And like if we know anything about history, like the German Navy, if they assembled every single ship in the German Navy, they still would not have enough ships to do their own variant of the D-Day landings on England.
Yeah, like, the more you get into the logistics of it, it's just bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the logistics of it is just completely stupid. And it's actually like the logistics is actually was a major point of contention within the Allies because take like the invasion of Normandy, there were a couple of like proposed landings in like the Pacific that the British wanted to do, and the US essentially told them no, fuck you, like we're not doing that. And the British couldn't do anything about it because it's like, well, they're not our boats. So,
Not our boats.
no. Because, like, the US, like, bar none, had the most and had the ability to produce an inordinate amount of actual, like, landing ships.
Mm.
And every other ally just borrowed them from us.
Man. Also, what computer are you using for this?
Mac?
Uh-huh.
Why?
Check your Steam.
My Steam?
Yes, your Steam.
Did I get a present mid podcast?
Maybe.
Stand by.
Standing by.
God damn it. While we're waiting, did I tell you it looks like I'm going to be I received a gift from Peasel. I should be getting a gaming PC around beginning of the year.
You mentioned that. Sounds dope.
Hearts of Iron 4 expansion pass.
Wait. I thought I was buying you the base game.
No, I already have the base game.
Said you didn't. Well, now I'm confused.
Huh. Apparently I didn't have it.
Wait, I tried. I don't know. It was on sale for 70% off, and you were talking about World War II strategy games, and got me. And I know you had that one Hearts of Iron dude, that YouTuber, on a while back for Saving Private Ryan. I just thought this game would be right up your alley.
All quiet, but regardless, thank you.
Wait, no, you didn't. It was the author dude we had for.
No, that was the dude from the rifle that did Saving
Yeah,
Private
yeah, yeah, yeah. The author that did Saving Private Ryan, but wait, which fucking all quiet? Because
the new one, the Netflix.
oh, huh. Anyway, yeah.
I
Get my
still
point.
have the Atari Axis and Allies, like the physical disc.
I don't know where mine went off to, but I had that as a kid too.
You know what we should do is
A Twitch play.
we should do a Twitch play. We should to our listeners at home, me and Jack have been bantering back and forth about this idea of expanding the Armchair Commanders brand to include historical wargaming.
Oh yeah.
So keep an eye out on the YouTubes for that. The podcast will remain just a war movie podcast if that's your cup of tea, but as we'll say at the end of the episode, if you want more content from us, we do have other platforms where we're going to kind of branch out.
TikTok now, apparently.
Oh yeah, TikTok. Yay.
Oh yeah. We got way off topic, but
Oh yeah. What'd you think of the one thing I felt was really out of place? I don't know how you feel about this, but like the the French resistance fighter just showing up.
he didn't really do much.
No, he shows up.
Fuck some
And,
girls.
yeah, it's like, that's my wife. And it's like, here's some guns and alcohol, and then we just move on.
Yeah. Like, it showed him when he was introduced stacking Nazi supplies on the beach. So I thought he was like a German spy or a scout or something. And the joke was they were too stupid about foreigners to know
The difference.
Yeah. But no, I guess those were stolen German supplies, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
And he has a moment in the final battle, but the problem is I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember either. What are you drinking tonight?
So let me preface this by saying this was quite possibly the most productive week of work I've had in a long time. I shipped out 4 boxes of machines that I've been putting off for weeks. And I was initially going to half ass it and quote unquote forget to send pictures of the machines in the boxes, which I'm supposed to do. And what we do is we send them to the prison in Yankton for maintenance and repair, and they get mad at us if we don't send pictures of the boxes and the machines so they know for sure what they're getting. And I was just gonna forget and like go on the attack if they called me on it, like, you know, fuck you, you fucking convicts. And but no, I actually did my job and I sent in the pictures of it. I was gonna do it last week because the dude that I sent the pictures to was gone, but he was here this week, so I actually nutted up and did it. And I expect to get 1 or 2 of them back in the mail because of stupid mail shenanigans, but I'm prepared for that. Anyway, and I also finished this audiobook that I've been editing for the last months, long ass time. And it was just a collection of sappy little short stories and musings by this one South Dakota author. Shout out to Eliza Blue. And yeah, I got that done. So I'm deciding to cut a little bit looser this weekend. I have a bottle of Yellowtail Cabernet Sauvignon. It ain't it ain't highbrow, but it's good enough for me. I have 2 different. I use formally 3 different cases of Oktoberfest because I'm a slut for Oktoberfest in October. And I have 2. Well, okay. I used to have 2 euros. I ate one. Now I have one left. So I'm spoiling myself this evening.
Hmm.
Now let's hear about yours.
I decided to do sober October.
And
So today is Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. And for those of you at home, you probably are going, but Jen, we listened to your bonus reel and you were drinking wine. That episode was recorded in August, so suck it. Yes, for the episodes recorded in October, I will be sober. Minion! Don't fucking at me, okay? Frankenstein's Army was recorded last month.
All of you.
I'm already regretting it. Which might show something a little about me that I should probably address, but you're not my fucking therapist either, so
Mm-hmm. And how does that make you feel?
shut the fuck up.
Do you think see, you just lashed out? Do you think that's a root cause of the mistreatment by your pastor? Do you mind telling me about that?
No.
Uh-huh. You're defensive. Okay, so let's open up that possibility.
I
Can you
remember
expound upon that?
I remember like a good noodle, I do see a therapist. I believe very strongly in mental health.
I'm a good noodle.
I think even if you don't have childhood trauma or any kind of major mental health issues, that it would behoove everybody to have a therapist that you talk to every now and again, just because. Anyways, probably my second or third session I ever had with my therapist, she pulls this, this line. It's called reflecting. And essentially, it's like, I hear what you're saying. And she probably did that like 3 or 4 times within like a 10-minute span of like this session. And after the fourth time, I just snapped. And I was like, I swear to God, if you fucking reflect on me one more goddamn time, I'm leaving this room. Like,
Yeah. So you say you lashed out at your therapist as well. Can you explain why you did that? Like, why did that make you feel so prickly?
because I wasn't in a good mental health space at one point in my life, Jack.
Okay, so you say you weren't. Okay, I'm done. Oh my god. Yeah, I know how you feel. I learned a lot of psychology tricks in my trade.
Well, yeah, you got your degree in fucking addiction studies. I'm sure you know a thing or two about counseling methods.
I do.
Uh, was there any other pressing points of this movie you wanted to discuss?
Yes, there was. The introduction to Hitler, I think it was the midway point of this movie when they finally take London. They're like
We'll
having.
be having London in Christmas, or
Yeah,
fuck, Christmas in London. Oh, goody!
yeah, where they're having their little Christmas in Buckingham Palace, and one of them, they're like dressed weirdly because they raided the museum and shit. Gibbles is opening his Christmas present, and then hijinks ensue, and like the Christmas tree falls on him, or sorry, Das Tannenbaum falls on him.
Tannenbaum, oh,
Do you,
Tannenbaum.
do you? I find myself singing that to myself a lot, really. But anyway,
At
do
one
you?
point in my life, I knew the entirety of O Tannenbaum in German, and I had it memorized. But I have
Of course, you did. But anyway,
a party trick.
Hitler like comes in. He's like, "Oh, hey, fuckers, having fun?" They're like, "Yeah, we succeeded in taking London." He's like, "That's cool. Also, I told you to fucking take uh, Winston Churchill prisoner. So why is his cage empty?"
It pans over
And
to the fucking bird cage.
it's this tiny ass cage that has labeled Winston Churchill on it. That part fucking killed me. But
I also love the fact that he just starts randomly popping rounds off.
yeah, he's like, I may be a weak Nazi and a tiny, weak body, but I do have one big Luger.
Which also, it brings me. There's one moment in this that I think is criminally underrated, where you have like these two Nazis that are like down the hall, and they like the implication is that they're gay guys, which, as we know, the Nazis were not real cool to the gay people.
But
Um,
I have this conspiracy that a good chunk of them were gay because if you're a gay Nazi, like you're gonna have to try to play up the "yeah, I hate gays and Jews" thing.
yeah,
Like,
well, it's the classic "he doth protest too much." Um,
like, you just know. It's implied in the movie Mafia. By the way, that was a great movie. I loved that movie. But the whole hyper masculinity thing of the South African army was a smokescreen because I'm willing to bet a good chunk of them were gay.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, totally. So you get my point, right? That a lot of the jingoistic Nazis were super gay. Anyway, also you're welcome for that conspiracy theory. You can have that one for free too.
But so while Hitler's having his little fucking temper tantrum, he starts popping off random rounds. It pans over to these two Nazis at the end of a hallway, and one of them's like, "I love you, Hans." He's like, "I love you too." And then one of these random bullets just like hits him. He's like, "Hans, no!"
Hans, no! I forgot about that. So I've also forgotten to mention one key thing.
Hmm.
Like I think I spent like 2 lunch breaks. No, one lunch break, one full lunch break and an after work thing to watch most of this movie one time. I didn't watch the last like 10 minutes of it, 10, 5, whatever.
So you missed William Wallace?
No. Like I got to the point where he figures out William Wallace is his dad. I didn't, however, get to the point. I got to the point where he gets to the final battle with the Highlanders, but I didn't get to the point where they fucking murder the Nazi army. And I didn't get to the stellar ending of this movie. More on that later. But then last night, I was on a video game and movie binge with some homies in Discord last night. We watched the 1999 movie Life with Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy. Great movie, by the way. Recommend it. And then we watched the Jackboots on Whitehall upon my suggestion.
Because you're like, I just watched this stellar fucking film and you guys need to see it now.
Yes, and I also wanted to finish it with them because I really felt like a couple of people in the Discord really needed to see the scene where he was like, I grew up in South Dakota hauling redwood, just so we could laugh at this just sheer stupidity of that line. And they agreed with me that it was stupid but hilarious. And anyway, we finished that movie fully. We agreed that it was one of the best endings to a movie that we've reviewed for this podcast ever. And then we watched a third of Osmosis Jones, which that's a war movie. I'm going to die on this hill. Anyway, I will not defend my position because there's nothing to defend. Fuck you, it's a war movie. We didn't finish it because the movie watcher was tired and wanted to go to bed. But also, are you aware of the movie La Papillon?
Maybe if you said it English like.
The Papillion.
I've heard of it, but I'm not familiar.
I think it's a war movie.
Do you know there's a town in Nebraska called Papillion?
I think it means butterfly in Spanish. No, French.
Probably. But yes, I agree. The ending of this movie is also fucking hilarious. Where instead of they're like, we've reclaimed London, and instead it's just fucking William Wallace putting up Scottish flags.
Yeah, he just takes over. He just takes over. And it's like that Anakin and Padme meme where it's like, oh, so you brought the Highlanders to liberate England, right? Right? And then they just fucking take over the United Kingdom.
What was there was a bar that they kept flashing to throughout this movie because at first it was like an English name and then like the Germans took over London and they like painted over it something German. And then the Scots came in and they kept the German name, but then just put Mick in front of it.
I think it was like Der Fritz's or Fritz's afterwards. And then it was
It was like Fritz's and then they changed it to Mick Fritz's.
And then they kept that poor bastard in prison.
God damn it.
He thought he was getting liberated. He thought he was getting liberated, but no, they put him in longer. Fuck, that just best ending ever. And then there was that old-timey tractor that they used to get around everywhere.
Dude, that made me laugh, not because, well, A, in and of itself, it was funny that they're using this tractor to get around England, but I've been following this one YouTuber that's all he does is like, that's his hobby, is fucking restoring these like steam engine tractors. And it's super satisfying to watch. It was a better time, a simpler time.
A simpler time.
But I think it's about time we give this thing a rating. I genuinely have no idea what to
I don't know what to make of this either. You know
what? 1 to 5 perambulators.
I was gonna say like big Scottish hands, but perambulators sounds more pretentious and ergo what we should do.
Yep, 1 to 5 perambulators.
All right, 1 to 5 perambulators. I give this a 4 out of 5 perambulators, but not for its quality, but for its hilarity, because this legitimately made me belly laugh at points. And I also got to give it mad credit for the proper depiction of a South Dakotan in film.
We're going to show them commies what?
Yeah, too stupid to know that he was fighting Nazis
Germans.
and not communists. Too stupid to tell the difference between an Indian and an Injun, which, on one hand, we have one of the highest percentages of a Native American population, but at the same time, stupid redneck state.
You owe me 50 pounds. Well, I got blown out of my britches with my last airplane. Then at the very end of the movie, he's like, here's your $50. You can't spend it anywhere.
Shame you won't live to spend it. That was actually a sad line, because it was like the first time where he's down to earth and he realizes, fuck, we may not survive this.
For a moment, I thought we were going to see them lose. But then the Scots. So for me, I want to give this a 5 out of 5. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. Even though it's creepy and very low budget looking, like, you can obviously tell a lot of fucking work it went into this, and like the aesthetics were a purposeful choice. But it's also, I don't know, it is not a work of art, or it's not like, you know, I hate saying it this way, but like, it's not Saving Private Ryan. It's not All Quiet on the Western Front. Granted, wasn't trying to be, but those are like legit like masterpieces, like, that need to be 5 out of 5. So like, I'm with you. This is a 4 out of 5 perambulator.
All right. The the tomometer says 44%.
Oh, get fucked.
Hold up. The audience is 26%. To them, I say, fuck you, this movie was fun. But
was it my wife that was writing these reviews?
I mean, probably. She's an English major. But anyway, so herein lies the problem. This is a comedy. And as we all know, comedy is highly subjective. There we go. Had to think of the word. And comedy movies are real fucking mixed bags sometimes.
Well, I mean, we've seen that plenty of, like, fucking The Hangover is regarded as one of the greatest comedies of all time, and I think that's fucking stupid. And yeah, you can come at me. I said it. The Hangover is a fucking stupid movie. Hangover,
You're not wrong.
got shit on this.
I don't know if I'd say The Hangover is a stupid movie, because I enjoyed it. It's the next two that I had a problem with, because did we really need to milk it like this?
I just don't like Zach Galifianakis fuckfakes.
Demonstrated by the fact you won't even say his name right.
Correct. Which, if Galifianakis is listening to this, we'd love to have you sometime.
And we'd also love you as a sponsor. Our opinion of you, well, okay, his opinion of you would change.
This does not represent the view of the Armchair Commanders.
Because, I think you're decent. Well, okay, let's be honest, you were at your apex in the late 2000s, early 2010s, but you've waned. Let's not lie to ourselves here.
Yeah. What did you think of the AI generated photo of us?
I tried my damnedest. I really did. I tried my damnedest to make us look like, us, but it just wouldn't work. And I tried, and I'm sorry.
I just love that, at least the one that I generated, It made you look like fucking Mel Gibson.
Did you generate this? Because I remember me trying my damnedest to generate us.
Did you not see the most recent one? It's up on our Instagram.
I'm gonna send me a link.
Do 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 do.
I just got a text. I just got a text. Wait, that's the one I generated.
Did you generate it?
I'm almost certain I did because that's exactly what. Because I even said like one of them's wearing a leather jacket, and I said turn his hair more brown, and it turned both of our hair brown. But
Because
I
I
don't
was
know.
also I don't know. I have like 50 of these fucking photos, and I can't remember which ones you generated and I generated. So
But can you really accuse one of us of stealing from the other when it's fucking AI? No, you can't.
no, no, you can't. Our friend Reed has a strong distaste for AI art for obvious reasons.
Racist against AI.
Yeah, he's going to be one of the first ones to go when the Terminator happens.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna be right in front of him too because I love gaslighting and insulting my AI, my Snapchat AI when I'm drunk.
One of
He's a
my favorite
fuck.
things to do is to give AI a prompt and then just keep telling it to do it better without any other input.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah, so I'll probably be taken out when Skynet's up and running.
I'll be right down there with you.
All right. Well, that's been Jackboots on Whitehall, and that was great. Next week, we will have a guest joining us, and we're going to be reviewing HBO straight to TV movie called The Tuskegee Airmen. Kind of excited for that. I remember enjoying this film a lot as a kid, so I think that should be a good time. But I have to announce that our yearly bet between me and Jack did not go in my favor this year. For those
So,
who are not aware, we place a bet on the Air Force Navy game every year, and Air Force did not win. So Jack now gets to choose the next three movies that don't have guests.
ha ha ha! I found me a brand new box of matches. Yeah, get fucked, Johnny.
What do you want for your first choice?
So this is the first time I've chosen a movie in like over a month. I'd like to put that out there for the record.
Yes, I'm
'Cause,
sorry that we're doing well and we're getting guests, okay?
yeah, struggling from success. But my first movie choice is Princess Mononoke.
Princess Mona. Is that a Ghibli?
Yes, it is a Studio Ghibli movie, and you need more culture in your life, mister.
Is that even a war movie?
Yes, and I will fight, kill, and die on this hill.
Historical fantasy film. Muromachi period of Japan. There, what? Environmentalism as a reaction against over-industrialization within the context of Shintoism, animism, and folklore. What the fuck am I? What? Okay, we're going to watch this, and I expect you to have a fucking thesis on why this is a war movie.
Don't give me that shit. It's more of a war movie than Dread is.
War on crime. Also, Dredd
War.
was murking people left and right in that film.
This movie murks people too, left and right. It is a war movie because not only does man war with itself, it also wars against nature spirits.
Okay.
So fuck you.
Let's go fuck myself, I guess.
And hell, maybe Miranda. Randa won't walk out of this movie. She might like it.
You know, there's actually a local theater that does it's called Summer Ghibli, where they like play a different Ghibli movie every week. So maybe I'll see if this is like on their lineups sometime.
Is it time to put a bow on this?
Oh yeah, I stopped paying attention to you. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review. The stars do matter. If you like additional content from us, we do have a YouTube channel. It's under Armchair Commanders. We have a ton of other places you can find us: Instagram, Facebook, Discord, all those good places, and TikTok. Until next time, I've been John.
I've been Jackboot. See what I did there? I was planning that. How funny.
We will catch you later.
Wankers!